Good morning. And the ride-sharing companies say this ordinance would essentially make it impossible for their businesses to operate in the city. Now, Alderman Anthony Beal says his measure would simply level the playing field for cabbies, who in some cases are being driven out of business by ride-sharing companies. So he's pushing for tough rules on ride-sharing firms, including getting a special chauffeur's license, undergoing a background check, and fingerprinting of drivers.
A heated debate at City Hall today over a proposed ride-sharing ordinance. It would require Uber and Lyft to follow rules similar to cab drivers. NBC5's Marianne Ahern is live with the controversy. Marianne?
Dick, Uber and Lyft are threatening to leave Chicago if the Chicago aldermen say yes to these new reforms. Two-thirds of the city council has already indicated they could be supportive. However, Mayor Emanuel, whose brother is an Uber investor, does not agree. Alderman Anthony Beal is leading the way for new reforms, but the popular rideshare companies are pushing back. Lyft and Uber recently left the city of Austin, Texas, after stricter regulations.
If you keep pulling out every city that says we need to regulate you guys for public safety reasons, then you're not going to have any place to operate.
The rideshare reform proposals include forcing the drivers to apply for a restricted chauffeur's license, background checks, fingerprinting, and additional training.
Fingerprints check tell me what you don't want me to know. And that's where we can't compromise on safety.
The ordinance would mandate that 5% of fleets be wheelchair accessible.
As of August of 2015, which is the most recent data we have, and it's out of date, but it's the most recent data we have. As of August of 2015, they could only report having provided 14 rides, and Lyft has reported no wheelchair accessible rides.
Uber's argument to that, a new wheelchair accessible vehicle on the road soon. Ride-sharing in Chicago's survival remains in question.
Uber and Lyft are at a crossroads with the city. In the name of safety, aldermen are proposing stricter rules for drivers similar to those for cabbies. As CBS 2's Vince Gerasoli reports, ride-sharing executives say it could force them to leave the city.
I've been driving 26 years.
But since Uber came on the scene, John Hilt's been navigating a bumpy road.
It's gone way downhill where all the taxi drivers, myself included, are having to work more hours for less money.
At the same time, Uber driver Jim Butler's enjoying a smooth ride.
It's been just all the fun in the world, and it pays well.
Though they offer similar services, their regulations are quite different, with taxi drivers subject to stricter requirements. City Council is considering legislation that would require rideshare drivers to submit to a fingerprinted background check and also a one-day training course similar to those attended by chauffeurs.
We're still operating under an unlevel playing field.
But at a feisty city council hearing today, attended by industry drivers, executives from Lyft said the changes could force them to leave the market. Uber managers said it would discourage drivers from signing up and force the company to raise prices.
This ordinance will not stop anybody from getting a job. We just want to make sure you are who you say you are.
All while drivers worry what's around the bend.
If this continues, then I'm assuming at some point the taxi industry will shrivel up.
They jump through those hoops and background checks and this and that. I think they'd lose a lot of riders.
Now, no vote was taken at today's meeting, but other interesting information came to light. In recent years, 10% of the city's taxi medallions have gone unsold or into foreclosure because of rideshare competition.
Finney Taylor.
We don't want Uber completely gone. We just want a fair system.